The Lunar Blaster DLC weapon went live for Splatoon earlier today. It was one of the weapons that have been leaked. I did make a video talking about the 33 new weapons that will be coming to Splatoon. So if you have missed out on that video, then I will leave a link to it in the description for you guys to check out. But in this video I will be doing a weapon review. I can't flip and speak at this moment in time, but I will be doing a weapon review of the Lunar Blaster. And as the name suggests, this weapon is a blaster, and compared to the other blasters within the game, it does have more damage, but it does have less range, especially compared to the box standard blaster and the custom blaster. The Lunar Blaster does have less range than the blaster, but it does have more damage. The fire rate for this weapon isn't that good as well compared to the rapid blaster, so that is one thing to bear in mind when using this weapon. And you'll see on screen now that as in the weapon test out area, the firing range, you have to go quite close to the enemies to get a proper hit on them. And what I've noticed when using this weapon is that you have to go up quite close when in a gunfight within Splatoon, and you have to be deadly accurate to actually get the kill, because if you miss your first shot then you probably will die. Even if you get your second shot off and you kill them, you probably will still die. That's what I've noticed. You need to be deadly accurate to get those one hit kills up close. If not, then it will take two shots to kill an enemy, but by that time you probably will die, unfortunately. Now, each shot of the Lunar Blaster doesn't really use a lot of ink, so you'll see on screen now that you can actually shoot the Lunar Blaster for a long period of time before you have to refill your ink tank or thing at the back of your character. So you can shoot this weapon for a long period of time. In terms of spreading ink around in Turf War, the Lunar Blaster isn't really that good at doing that. It does a decent job, don't get me wrong, but there are other weapons in the game that do a much better job at playing the objective within Turf War than what the Lunar Blaster does. Now, the sub weapon you get with the Lunar Blaster is the ink mine, which is very useful to bait out enemies. That's what I like to do when using this ink mine. I like to bait out enemies to run into my ink mine. It's definitely very fun to use, although it can get quite annoying for the opposition player. The special weapon is the Inkzooka, which allows you to attack enemies at a longer range. Like I said earlier, the Lunar Blaster doesn't allow you to attack enemies at a longer range. You have to get up close and personal with the Lunar Blaster, so the Inkzooka allows you to attack enemies at a closer range. Now, my thoughts on this gun is that it's not really my cup of tea, just because I don't really like to use the blasters within Splatoon, just because I don't really have the greatest of accuracy within this game. And like I said earlier, if you get your first, or if you miss your first shot, then you probably will die. Like I said, if you don't get that first shot off, then you probably will die. Even if you do get that second shot off and kill them, you probably will still die. But when you're up close, you do a lot of damage, and that's my best advice for using this weapon, is to get up close and personal, up in people's faces, and attack people that way. You can't attack people at a longer range. Now, the gear abilities that I would use with the Lunar Blaster is defense up. I think having defense up will give you a slight advantage when in a gunfight up close, because it will mean that if you do miss your first shot, then it might mean that you might actually get your second shot off and not die. So I definitely would advise you to use defense up. I would stay away from damage up. This gun doesn't need it at all, just because the damage of the Lunar Blaster is very high, so I'll definitely stay away from damage up. Maybe go with the abilities that make you speed up whilst in the squid form. That would be quite a useful ability to have, just because you need to get up close and personal. Like I said earlier, to use the Lunar Blaster effectively. And yeah, that's just pretty much all I've got to talk about really. I guess the best maps for the Lunar Blaster is the ones that, you know, make you go up close and personal. I think my personal favourite is Walleye Warehouse, and I think my worst map so far for this weapon is Blackberry Skate Park. Kelp Dome is surprisingly good for the Lunar Blaster as well. To summarise, if you are a player that uses the blaster and you like the blaster and it's your favourite weapon within the game, then you'll definitely like the Lunar Blaster. But if you do struggle with the blaster weapons in the game like myself, then I don't think you will like this weapon. But for what it is, I think it is quite decent, but it isn't something which I will use on a regular basis. So yeah, that is pretty much the end of my weapon review for the Lunar Blaster, which is the latest DLC weapon in Splatoon. Let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are about the Lunar Blaster, and let me know if you want me to do more of this sort of thing on my channel. I'll happily do it. But yeah, I'm pretty much going to edit this video straight away and upload it as soon as possible so that I can get back to playing Splatoon. Definitely am enjoying playing this game. So yeah, that's it from me. I'm out of here for now. Goodbye.